June 20th, 2017. 5 investors walk into a boardroom and they hand Travis Kalanick a letter. It says, "You're done. The man who built Uber from nothing, who turned ride-hailing into a verb, who survived a decade of regulatory warfare, competitor fights, and legal battles across 6 continents, forced out of his own company." The investigations had found it. The reports confirmed it. A culture of sexual harassment left unchecked. Women blocked from advancement while HR looked the other way. And Kalanick, according to investigators, personally protected his favorites while the wreckage piled up around them. Silicon Valley watched and waited. Most people fall and disappear. Some rebuild quietly. Travis Kalanick did something different. He went to Saudi Arabia. 18 months after Uber forced him out, the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund handed him $400 million. It was reported as the first major Silicon Valley deal signed after Jamal Khashoggi's murder inside a Saudi consulate. And with that money, he built CloudKitchens, a company that would reach a $15 billion valuation. That would reportedly recreate the exact same toxic culture he was fired for building. And that would never, not once, publicly disclose a profitable quarter. This is not a comeback story, this is a pattern. Uncle K Media presents The Unicorn Graveyard, Episode 4, CloudKitchens, the kitchen with no customers.
Expand your restaurant easier than you think. At CloudKitchens, we help restaurant owners like you grow your business with lower risk and higher return.
I have an opportunity to reach our customers that we've been servicing here in Scottsdale for ages, 8 years now. So it's an awesome opportunity for us to expand and actually open up new brands as well.
With the Cloud Kitchen concept, you can actually operate and sell multiple different brands out of this one location. The beauty about Cloud Kitchen is that you're not bound to one concept, because not like a restaurant where you're creating the whole atmosphere, environment, just to serve one clientele and one.
With commercial kitchens optimized for delivery, you can launch a new location in less than a month and expand your reach to delight new customers.
No one talks about this in the Cloud Kitchen space, yet it is super scary because your business can easily be taken away from you.
To understand CloudKitchens, you have to understand what Travis Kalanick needed to prove after Uber. He needed the world to believe the failure was circumstantial, that the real problem at Uber was the spotlight, the board, the journalists, the blog posts, that without all of that noise, the model worked, the man worked. And food delivery gave him the perfect cover story. By 2018, delivery was exploding. DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, consumers were ordering everything from their phones, and restaurants were drowning in a system that charged them 15 to 30% commission on every order, while they still paid full rent on dining rooms that sat half empty on weeknights.
From Postmates to Uber Eats, even Grubhub, more people skipping eating out and bringing the restaurant experience home. But how that food is prepared is getting a big change. More competing companies are now teaming up using ghost kitchens.
CloudKitchens walked in with a seductive thesis. The dining room is waste. The front of house is theatre. Strip it out. Put the kitchen in an industrial warehouse. Route orders through the apps. Charge operators for the space, the equipment, the software.
Your customer places an order. No matter which app they used, you'll accept all your delivery orders through one single tablet. Then, you'll do the cooking. You'll rent a cloud kitchen, fit with basic equipment, so you can customize it to your needs. We'll provide the tech to track your orders without a hitch.
What is left is pure efficiency, the future of food. He called it infrastructure, software-enabled, scalable. 3 words that, in Silicon Valley, can transform any business into a technology company. And with technology company language comes technology company valuations. Investors lined up, January 2019, 3 months after Jamal Khashoggi was murdered inside a Saudi consulate. 3 months after Silicon Valley had publicly pledged to rethink its relationship with the kingdom's money. Travis Kalanick quietly accepted $400 million from Saudi Arabia's public investment fund. No press conference, no announcement. The deal only became public through reporting. By November 2021, CloudKitchens raised another $850 million, a mix of debt and equity. Microsoft joined, Kraft Ventures joined. Saudi PIF doubled down. The valuation, $15 billion. $15 billion, more than the market cap of most publicly traded restaurant chains. For a company most people had never heard of. The pitch worked not because it was necessarily true, it worked because it was emotionally irresistible. A disgraced founder with something to prove, a hot sector with explosive growth numbers, sovereign money from a kingdom that needed global prestige, and a story that let sophisticated investors believe they were buying technology when they were, allegedly, buying warehouses. But here is what made the pitch so dangerous. The flaw was not obvious, because the first version of the story, ghost kitchens exist, delivery is growing, dining rooms are expensive, was completely accurate. The lie was one layer deeper, and we will get there. The product was food, the business was real estate, the pitch was software. Let me tell you what CloudKitchens actually was. Not what the pitch deck said, what the business actually did. CloudKitchens leased industrial buildings, divided them into small kitchen units, rented those units to restaurant operators, charged for shared equipment, permits, cleaning, and software tools, then collected rent every month. That is a landlord, with better branding. Now, here is why that distinction matters more than it sounds. It is not a minor semantic difference. It is worth billions of dollars. Technology companies get valued on multiples of revenue, sometimes 10, 20, 30 times. Real estate companies get valued on occupancy, lease terms, and cash flow. The gap between those two valuation frameworks is enormous. And the words software-enabled, scalable infrastructure are what create the gap. CloudKitchens did not solve the hardest problem in food. The hardest problem in food is demand. Can you get people to want to order your meal tomorrow? Can you survive delivery apps extracting 25% off the top while your food costs rise, your labor turns over, and your tenants churn out every 6 months? CloudKitchens did not remove those problems, it moved them one layer down. The restaurant operator now carries them, and CloudKitchens collects the rent regardless of whether the operator survives.
Here's the idea. Each one of these little sections are set up with a little kitchen, and now these kitchens have those restaurants, as you mentioned, Boston Market.
And inside the company, something else was happening. Reporting from Business Insider described the internal culture at CloudKitchens as a temple of bros. Kalanick and his inner circle at the top. A Fight Club level code of secrecy throughout. Employees reportedly could not discuss their work, not with journalists, not with friends, not even with their families. One source compared it to joining the CIA, except CIA employees get training on what they can say. At CloudKitchens, employees had to guess wrong, and HR called. And those employees, the ones who believed in the mission, according to reporting, they were recruited with promises of competitive salaries and annual bonuses, then asked to take $5,000 to $10,000 off their starting salary at signing, because the bonus would make it up.
CloudKitchen has been all the rave in the recent years. We're talking about big companies jumping onto this trend like Applebee's, Walmart, Starbucks, McDonald's. All these big brands are jumping on.
By the first quarter of 2023, reporting put CloudKitchens building occupancy at roughly 50%. Let that land. A company valued at $15 billion. Half its buildings half empty. Layoffs followed. Locations were closed. The company's India operation, branded Kitchen Plus, shut down entirely in December 2023. Approximately 40 employees gone. And across the broader industry, the model was collapsing. CloudKitchens raised $1.25 billion, reached a $15 billion valuation, built a business whose core mechanism was indistinguishable from a landlord. CloudKitchens matters because it is a perfect specimen of a very specific Silicon Valley delusion, the belief that if you remove the human-facing part of a difficult business, the difficult part disappears. It does not. Restaurants are not just kitchens. Healthcare is not just algorithms. Offices are not just square footage. And freight is not just a routing engine. The human layer is usually where the business actually lives. Strip it out and you do not get efficiency. You get a landlord with a better pitch deck. Travis Kalanick built 2 companies that reached legendary valuations, and both of them, at the core, ran on the same fuel: the willingness of powerful institutions to fund the story before demanding the proof. Now. If you think taking sovereign money 3 months after a journalist's murder is audacious, wait until you hear about the man who convinced a former British Prime Minister to personally lobby his own government on behalf of a private financial firm. That Prime Minister reportedly walked away with around £7 million. Credit Suisse investors lost billions. Steelworker jobs across multiple countries, thousands of them, ended up hanging off the same rotting structure. And when the whole thing collapsed, the people at the center were long gone. CloudKitchens rebranded real estate as software. The next one was worse. It rebranded fantasy as finance. Subscribe to Uncle K Media. Hit the notification bell. Every episode of The Unicorn Graveyard, we find the company the official story doesn't fully explain. We find the mechanism underneath, and we explain it. This has been The Unicorn Graveyard. Episode 5 is coming, and it is going to make $15 billion of empty warehouses look like a quiet Tuesday.